This is a tornado emergency. This is higher than a tornado warning. This is the most significant of all warnings that we can issue when it comes to a tornado, okay? This is more significant than a tornado warning. A tornado emergency is now in effect for Cleveland, McLean, and Oklahoma County. Danielle Dozier, go.
49. On 149th and South May.
Danielle.
Hey, we're at 149th and South May. Just saw a power flash in the sky, Damon. This is a large, violent tornado. It is moving to the northeast, and
moving pretty much straight east.
We're looking at it right now. It's moving to the east-northeast generally, but I mean, if you are in Moore, I would go ahead and get underground right now. Violent tornado, and this thing is kicking up debris. We just zoomed in. We saw the debris. Now, of course, the trees are a little bit in the way, so you can't see it actually at the ground, but this is definitely causing a lot of damage right now.
And Damon and Rusty, the thing that I would caution everybody on, the storms we saw yesterday, they would produce a tornado and it would come back, it would go back up. This one has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. We have not seen any weakening at all. It just seems to be getting bigger. That really concerns me about how long this thing is going to be on the ground. It's headed into the south parts of Oklahoma City, just seeing some power flashes along the base of that. So it's hitting power lines over there, probably approaching May Avenue. We're going to need to get out of here because it's going to come just a little too close to where we're at.
Yeah, Chris, so right along Southwest 149th Street, that is in Oklahoma City. Southwest 149th Street, as it moves into Moore, becomes Southwest 19th Street. We're talking about Moore city limits streets between Southwest 19th and 4th Street. In the Oklahoma City area, Southwest 134th Street and 149th Street, south to 164th Street. This is a tornado emergency. You need to be below ground immediately. You need to be below ground immediately. Now is the time to go into your tornado shelter. We are not here to scare you, but this is a very large tornado, and we want you to understand the tone that we are using right now as a very serious situation, a life-threatening situation, as we have this large tornado on the ground. We hear the tornado sirens. They are going off. You need to take these tornado sirens seriously, take our warnings very seriously. Again, a large tornado is moving now in the western Cleveland County. Rusty.
Damon, I have this tornado going over the river as we speak. I do believe it is starting to turn more east. We get these large tornadoes. They become right turners. They head more due east. So right now I have it just south of Southwest 149th Street. Let me say this, and I'm going to say this with as serious as I've ever said in the 7 years I've been here. If you are not underground on the path of this storm, you are endangering your life. This is the kind of tornado that is going to be coming into the western sides of Moore. You have to be out of the path of this tornado.
Okay, and for all parents of Moore, the students in the Moore school limits are being held at school, and they are putting them in their shelters. Do not go to the Moore public schools to pick up your children. They are being held in school, and they are going to be placed in their designated tornado shelters within the school, right along Southwest 149th Street, right down Penn Avenue, Western Avenue, as you move into Moore. Again, this is a large tornado that is coming in. Chance Cold Iron, go.
Damon, this is going S5 right now. It just crossed the river. I think I've seen 2 cars get picked up off the bridge, thrown in the air. This thing is violent. People have to be underground, just like Rusty's saying. We got power lines down. The old bridge on I-44, the metal bridge, has been taken down. And that's some strong winds. People need to be in their shelter.
I've got
the
debris.
exact location of the tornado is going to be just to the south of 149th Street, moving due east right now.
Okay, I am detecting debris in this storm with our radar. You can see the radar on the right-hand side of your television screen there. That pink shading that you see right there, that is debris that is in this storm. So this is a large, violent tornado. A tornado emergency has been issued for Cleveland County and southern Oklahoma County, although as this storm turns more right, this is going to stay more in the Cleveland County here. So right along Southwest 149th Street, I am detecting some significant debris within this tornado right here from our radar. And again, Southwest 149th Street turns into Southwest 19th Street into Moore. That would put it on the track that would take it into the street where we have a Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart. We have that will be just south of the Warren Theater. Again, this is going to be moving into the Westmore community right along Southwest 149th Street. Brad.
And you just mentioned something very important. Folks that are driving right now, listening to us on the Cumulus broadcast stations, 104.9 The Wild, Bob FM, the Sports Animal, the Cat. If you're in your car, do not seek shelter in a large box store. A Walmart, a Lowe's, a Home Depot is not a sturdy shelter. Something smaller, something sturdy, and do not get under an underpass. Damon.
Absolutely not. Again, this is anyone who is trying to rush home right now. Again, we have a very large, dangerous tornado that is moving into western parts of Cleveland County right now. Here is a tornado right here from our radar vantage point. Okay, this right here, this pink shading, the tornado is just southwest of Southwest 149th Street. You can see we've got our radar signatures, these rings spinning around, and this right here, this is going to be debris right here. This is Southwest 149th. This is Southwest 134th Street. As this is in the Oklahoma City limits, these streets are then renamed as they move into Moore. This right here is going to be known as 4th Street and Moore. This right here is 19th Street and Moore. If you are now in your tornado shelters, or if you haven't done so yet, go into your shelters and Moore. You can watch us on our KOCO Tornado app. You can watch our live streaming coverage. We will tell you when it is safe to get out of your shelter, but right now we continue to have a very large, dangerous tornado moving into western Cleveland County. Chris Lee.
Yeah, Damon, we just went through 134th and Penn. There's no power. I'm looking at neighborhoods. Obviously, it's still light, so with ZC lights, but I don't see a whole lot of electricity. I'm thinking maybe these areas are out. You see some power plants across I-44 there. We were seeing quite a bit of debris being picked up. We're now approaching 134th and Western, and there's no power here either. So a lot of power out in this area already. And so if you're counting on that sort of thing for your warning, that's what you need to be concerned about. We're kind of running away from it, getting a little bit out ahead of it, and it's back behind us towards Bay Avenue and 149.
All right, Chris. All right, we're continuing to track a very dangerous tornado and looking at reflectivity within that and the velocity right there. We're still talking about it. Looks like they're, Rusty, is that 160 mile per hour gate to gate?
It's at least, Damon. You're looking at probably 160 to 180. There, the comparison easily goes to the two tornadoes yesterday. This looks on radar to be an EF4. It could even be an EF5. You know, it's close. The winds are extremely strong. This is a very violent tornado. I have it right now. It just crossed I-44 again, by the way. So it crossed I-44. It is now tracking along Southwest 149th. The path is still just north of east, but it is beginning to turn a little bit more on to a due east track.
What mode are we in right now?
This is what we call our F5 mode. This is going to allow us to pick up the strongest winds. We can pick up winds of an EF5 tornado. And again, right now, what I'm looking at are winds that are at least an EF4.
I'm picking up quite a bit of debris within this tornado right now. So we continue this right here. A tornado emergency has been issued for Cleveland County. So you can see the amount of reflectivity you have or the amount of velocity we have there. Let's go back over to reflectivity. Rusty, let's go back over to reflectivity here. There's a tornado on the right-hand side of your television screen. Look how large that is. This is a tornado right here. So the tornado is right along 149th Street. This will become 19th Street and Moore. So we're talking about those right along the Moore Athletic Club, all right, the Moore Athletic Club, their Golf and Athletic Club, the Dick's Sporting Goods, the Walmart, Stone Meadows Community, Westmore. As you make your way a little bit farther east, we're talking about those that are right along the western part of the access road there. So we're looking at now, we're going to have the Warren Theater, the Walmart. We're going to have all these community centers that are just right along in between 119th and 134th. This eventually becomes 4th and 19th Street right here. The tornado right here is now right over Southwest 149th Street. That is going to be still in the Oklahoma City metro limits, but that will eventually turn into Indian Hills Road. That's going to become Southwest 34th Street and more. So we're still tracking this very large tornado. You can see a very large tornado, a tornado emergency. This tornado is right over Southwest 149th. It is getting ready to approach Western Avenue. This is going to be right here, the Canadian River. Large tornado. It looks like this tornado may have jogged just a scotch down to the south here, but it's still right along 134th and 149th. And again, 134th becomes 19th Street as it moves into Moore, which is going to be right here. So this is going to be 19th Street and Moore. And again, this is going to be Southwest 34th Street. Southwest 34th Street and Moore. South 19th Street and Moore. Right here, 149th Street. So again, those of us that are anywhere between the Oak Ridge Elementary School, if you are near the Moore Golf and Athletic Club, Westmore Trails Park, the community of Stone Meadows, right along Western and right near Westmore, and as you approach the Orr Family Farm, again, the Orr Family Farm, you are all in the path of this dangerous tornado. Rusty.
Damon, I literally have it right over Pennsylvania and Southwest 149th. You can see that region where we don't have any reflectivity. We call it a bounded weak echo region. That is indicative of the most intense tornadoes. When our radar picks up that signature, it shows you just how strong the winds are within this. The outside area, that's more than likely debris. We have had reports already of extensive damage on the northern sides of Newcastle with this tornado.
Okay. Absolutely no surprise about that. Again, this is we continue our coverage right here. I'm depicting a lot of debris being wrapped up within this tornado, and again, it looks like this tornado continues to be right over 149th Street. This is Southwest 149th Street, and again, this will eventually become Southwest 34th Street as you move into Moore. Chance Cold Iron, go ahead, go.
Okay, David. Tornado is on 149th, just crossed in. Moving over towards Bay. It's a large Zone 5 tornado. Extended EF4 category or higher. It's doing major structural damage. Everything back to the west of that storm is down. I-44 is closed. The people on the east shore, up towards I-35, need to be underground. This tornado's not anything to mess with.
No.
We're coming up all day right here. I'll get this shot, Damon.
Okay, so Southwest, this is Southwest 149th Street, Southwest 134th Street. If you're familiar with this area, there's a McDonald's right here, Orr Family Farm, Southwest 149th Street. The tornado is now crossing right over Penn Avenue, moving more to the east. Again, anyone that is within the Walmart, there's a Walmart on 19th Street and more. There's a tornado on the right-hand side of your television screen there. If you are at the within the Walmart on 19th Street and more, if you are near the Dick's Sporting Goods on 19th Street, if you live near the Home Depot, the Moore Golf and Athletic Club, you are in the path of this tornado. You need to be below ground. You can see the tornado on the right-hand side of your television screen. Again, that is right here over Southwest 149th Street, and again, that becomes South 34th Street and more. That is going to be one block north, one street north of Indian Hills Road and more. Danielle Dozier, go.
Hey, Damon. Yeah, we are still following this tornado. The street that you're looking at right now, we're actually driving to the east, trying to get away from it, but we're coming up on, it looks like Wilson Boulevard and Markwell Avenue, and the storm.
Did we lose Danielle?
And okay. South 134th, Chris Lee's telling me another exact location, and the storm's actually behind us. It is a still large tornado. Debris is evident, flying in the air. People in Moore need to be underground right now if they are not already. Chris Lee is taking the camera right now, trying to point it towards the tornado. Again, we are trying to get safely east of this thing right now, but we're still staying on top of it, David.
Okay, and you can see right here with our high-resolution mapping, we have plenty of neighborhood developments right here. Lots of high-density neighborhoods, so this is moving into a very dense part now of Moore. It was moving through southwestern parts of the metro here where it wasn't nearly as dense, but now we are getting closer to I-35. This tornado is going to pass right over I-35 here, and eventually it's right on 19th Street there. Okay, Rusty, can we put some more street locators on there? I believe that's going to be 19th Street and Moore right there. Again, 19th Street and Moore, West Moore Trails Park, the community of Stone Meadows, West Moore, Southwest 19th Street. That's going to be right where they had the Home Depot. There is a Walmart. There is going to be a Buffalo Wild Wings on the west-hand side there, a Lewis Jewelers. All of you, you need to be in your tornado shelter immediately. Chance Cold Iron, you're live now. Go ahead, go.
David, I was on Southwest 134th and Santa Fe. It's pretty wrapped. There's a big neighborhood addition. Not across here. Get ready to take a direct in. Just southwest of Southwest 134th and Santa Fe. This is a tornado by a quarter mile. It's rain wrapped now. You're not going to be able to see it. We got so many people on the road still, Damon. Everybody in mourning off the road and their shelters. It's turning. It's going to still south of 34th Street, and it's moving more than east track now. Probably getting close to Santa Fe. But it's rain wrapped, hard to see. We got debris and fire lines coming down well in advance of this tornado.
Okay, yeah, so once again, okay, so here we are here. This is going to be, let's see, Santa Fe here. This right here is going to be I-35 right here. That is going to be 19th, right there. Let's go, Rusty, let's see here. That's going to be 134th Street. This right here is going to be 19th Street. All right, here we go. So 19th Street and Moore. All right, so this right here is going to be, there's a Walmart right here. There is going to be a PetSmart right here, 4th Street. Tornado moving right over. This is going to be density area. Right here we have a Lowe's. I'm sorry, the Lowe's is right here. Home Depot is right here. Dick's Sporting Goods right here, okay? And this is going to be the tornado right here. This is going to cross over. It's going to cross over 19th Street here and make its way right over I-35. Again, this is a very large tornado. It's a very large tornado. You can see it there on the right-hand side of your television screen. But here, this is 4th Street. This is going to be 19th Street right here. This is moving into Moore. Looks like the last radar scan may have just barely nudged it a little bit farther down to the south. Again, we continue to monitor this. So again, those of us from the Moore Athletic Club, if you're living right around the Oak Ridge Elementary School, the West Moore Trails Park, okay, we're talking about just west of I-35. This is going to be especially just right around the Warren Theater, the Moore Medical Center, Royal Park, Moore. This is all on the west side of I-35. You are in the path of this tornado. Again, this is a tornado emergency for Moore. We have a tornado emergency for Moore with this storm as it continues to move. So if we look here, we're zooming in real close here. This is going to be 4th Street. Here's 19th Street. If we're looking on the west side of the highway here, this is going to be where the Warren Theater is right here. So the Warren Theater is right here. There is a Lowe's right here. And then there is going to be a Walmart right here. This tornado is going to cross over 35. It is just west of the Warren Theater right now. Here's Santa Fe right here. You can see the tornado there on the right-hand side of your television screen. Chris Lee, go ahead, go.
Yeah, we're running about a mile and a half ahead of this thing on 19th Street in Moore. If you see our stream, there's a bunch of, we're going by a school. School is getting ready to let out. The buses are all here, but they are not letting out. Something to point out. This thing is so big, David. It is so big it really doesn't look like a tornado. It's got a lot of rain that is drawing around it, so it doesn't have that defined, when we showed it to you as it was forming, it had the edges and looked very well defined, and now it's have very fuzzy and kind of almost looks just like a cloud on the ground, and then as it gets bigger, you start to see pieces of debris flying around up off the ground. So this is very definitely a very large tornado heading across the South Moore area. We are on Southeast 4th Street in Moore and running a little bit ahead of it.
Okay, yeah, Chris, so Southeast 4th Street and more. So looking at this and even looking downstream here, for those of us east of I-35, if you live anywhere right along Eastern Avenue there, that is also known as Toby Keith Boulevard and more, if you live along that, if you live even farther east, as you make your way down near Bryant, near Veterans Memorial Park, if you make your way to Sooner Road, I know the communities, the Creeks of Wimberley, Rock Creek, you are in the path of this. Again, if you live at the Creeks of Wimberley or Rock Creek, you need to be in your tornado shelter immediately. Again, this tornado, it is still on the west side of I-35. It is passing right over, just near the Warren Theater area. This is in between 4th and 19th Street. Again, if you live in on the east side now of I-35 here, looking here, it looks like we are likely going to have this tornado continue to pass right over I-35. So now we are talking about there's a Walmart neighborhood market right along 4th Street. You are in the path of this storm. There is going to be an Arvis Bank. You are in the path of this storm. That is right along 4th Street. The Cleveland County Health Department is right there on 4th Street. You are all part of this storm. Chance Cold Iron, you're on the phone.
David, I think the Moore Medical Center took a direct hit of this tornado. It's now rain wrapped. It was a quarter to a half mile wide before we lost it. It looks like it's going to come right down 4th Street. I have just passed East Central Elementary on 4th Street. Got debris, large chunks of debris falling a half a mile in front of this tornado. But you can't see it. Do not go down I-35 from Oklahoma City east to get off. Anybody from Moore, Midwest City, Down City need to stay out of the way of this tornado. You cannot see it at all. It's large, causing major damage. But anybody along 4th Street, up through 12th Street, 89th Street, in Moore High School, all around that area need to be in their shelters right now.
Okay, yeah, and again, this is crossing right over I-35. Rusty, go.
Damon, I do have it jogging a little bit more northeast. It had tracked right across 149th, but now as it's gotten to I-35, it's actually jogged just a little bit northeast. These tornadoes, they have minds of their own. They're not going to take a straight path. They will wobble back and forth as they cycle, so expect kind of a east-northeast turn. Let me also say this. Again, you are risking your life if you're not below ground in the path of this tornado. So be below ground if you can. If you can't, you have to be at the lowest level as you can. You have to be out of a mobile home. You need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's the bottom line. Get the tornado app that we have. Also, if you don't have a smartphone with you, turn your TV all the way up, but get in a closet. Damon and I will be very specific on everything. Damon, the last thing we want people doing is sitting in their living rooms right now watching the TV as this tornado is heading to them. This is how life-threatening this situation is.
We are not here to scare you. We are not trying to put fear, but we want you to know how serious of a storm this is. This is a tornado emergency for Moore. This is where the Moore was the birthplace of the tornado emergency back in 1999. So right here, this is going to be the Moore Medical Center that Chance was just talking about. This right here, this is Telephone Road. This is where the Warren Theater is. This is where the Lowe's is. This is going to be where the Walmart is right here. This is that commercial development right here, the tornado crossing right over I-35. You can see on the right-hand side of your television screen, this is Eastern Avenue right here. As you get into Moore, this is also known as Toby Keith Boulevard. There is going to be a Walmart neighborhood market right here, the Cleveland County Health Department right here, and there is going to be an Arvis Bank right here. There's a Subway right here, and then there's going to be a middle school right here, Highland East. Highland East is going to be right here. So the middle school, junior high, Highland Junior High is right here. This is going to be Bryant, all right? This is going to be Veterans Memorial Park right here. So Bryant, Veterans Memorial Park. This is the tornado now. This is going to be right this is just crossed over the train tracks and more. So this tornado has crossed right over the train tracks and more right along 4th Street. Okay, this is debris that we are picking up within this tornado. A tornado emergency for Moore. Toby Keith Boulevard, the Cleveland County Health Department. This is going to be right here, again, Highland Junior High. Large tornado moving right down 4th Street and more. It is now crossing over the train tracks and moving at 20 miles per hour. Bryant Avenue, okay, and again, Veterans Memorial Park. This right here is going to be the Creeks of Wimberley. Right here, if you're listening, this is going to be the housing community of the Creeks of Wimberley. Rock Creek is going to be right here, and the housing community right here of Heather Ridge. Heather Ridge, Creeks at Wimberley, okay? Creeks at Wimberley. Heather Ridge, and Rock Creek neighborhoods. Right here, this is going to be, again, this is going to be the junior high. Again, you need to be below ground right now. Danielle Dozier, go.
Hey, yeah, we just crossed at 134 Southeast in Sunny Lane here in the Moore area, and you can still see the tornado here on our live shot. I really hope these people are underground. We have got a ton of cars out here on the road, which I really don't like to see. They're still trying to escape the tornado from the east, moving to the east, and it's still large tornado. I can't even fathom how much damage it's already caused. It's been on the ground for a long time now, Damon, and we just realized that it crossed I-35. Still moving and still just a large tornado. Back to you.
Yeah, large tornado. We are still detecting winds there. That's gate to gate. That is going to be pinging over 200 miles per hour. So once again, 4th Street, 19th Street. You can see the velocity of tornado is still there. Let's go back over to reflectivity. All right, I know this area very, very well. All right, this is home to me, so I'm very familiar. Rusty, back over to reflectivity here. And again, the tornado, this is going to be Bryant. All right, Veterans Park right here. Okay, Creeks at Wimberley is right here. All right, there's a very large house. I think many of us who drive down 4th Street, we know exactly where that is. Veterans Memorial Park, tornado right overhead. Okay, so Veterans Memorial Park, again, this is going to be the Creeks at Wimberley. This is going to be Rock Creek. Those are neighborhoods, all right? This tornado is moving right down 4th Street. It is now just east now of the junior high. It is now east of the Cleveland County Health Department here. So this tornado has already crossed over the train tracks. Again, this is 4th Street, all right? So this tornado is now right over Veterans Memorial Park, okay? It is approaching into the Creeks at Wimberley. It's this neighborhood right here. This is going to be Rock Creek right here, okay? There is going to be a Baptist church right here. So 4th Street, the tornado is running right down 4th Street and more. We continue to detect a very large tornado. This is a tornado emergency, and now it looks like the tornado has just jogged just a couple inches now just north of 4th Street. But that pink right there, that is going to be the debris, but it looks like maybe the tornado is still going to be running just north, right along 4th Street here. So again, this tornado is now east of Veterans Park. Okay, this tornado is now going to be moving right into Rock Creek. Again, that neighborhood, Rock Creek, and the Creeks at Wimberley. You need to be below ground. Again, you need to be below ground if you are living in Rock Creek or the Creeks at Wimberley, or even Heather Ridge right there. That is going to be 3 neighborhoods that are all packed really tight together between Bryant and Sunny Lane Road, between Bryant and Sunny Lane Road. Again, a very large tornado. It is now getting ready to move and is going to impact. There is a Baptist church that is right at the corner here of Sunny Lane Road and 4th Street. The tornado is now right over Sunny Lane Road with our latest radar scan right here. So this tornado is now right along Sunny Lane Road, okay, so Sunny Lane Road, and this is going to be 4th Street. This is getting across now back into the Oklahoma City limits here. The Moore City limits stop right here at Sunny Lane Road. So now this is going to change street numbers here, and again, this is going to turn into, I do believe this is now going to be southeast. This is going to be southeast 134th Street. 134th Street, as this tornado is now moving out of Moore and is now moving back into the Oklahoma City metro limits here. This is going to be Lake Stanley Draper. Large tornado right along 4th Street, now moving into Oklahoma City, becoming 134th Street and Sooner Road. Sunny Lane, Sooner Road. There are houses right within here, and you can see we are still detecting plenty of rotation right now. Again, a very large tornado is moving now out of Moore and is now moving into, Oklahoma City right here. So it looks like this storm is now east of Eastern, otherwise known as Toby Keith, and now we're getting this tornado back into Oklahoma City limits here. Rusty, Brad, go ahead, go.
Damon, you know, the cold front is interacting with this tornado. If anything, with that interaction has actually sped the speed up a little bit, which does 2 things. It doesn't allow it to be over the community as long, but it also factors in the speed of the tornado with the actual tornadic winds. So it can make the winds of the tornado faster, but it doesn't stay over the same communities as long. But still a violent tornado on the ground. And Rusty, I'll send it to you.
All right, guys, can we go to Advantage Doppler 3D, please? I do want to let our southern viewing area know you do have a tornado warning. That is for Garvin and Stevens County until 4:15. There is an active circulation right now, possibly producing a tornado, and it's going to be in northern Stevens County. Going to track that out for you real quickly here, moving off to the east at around 30 miles an hour. So as it moves into Garvin County, Purdy at 356, Elmore City 415, 429 in Brady. If you live in the Pauls Valley area, just keep a real close eye on this storm. This could be headed towards I-35 in Garvin County. Brad?
And Rusty, I wanted to add to that. We have eyes on that storm as well. Jeremy Carter is right on that storm. He has been tracking it. It is a wall cloud right now, not a tornado on the ground with that southern storm. A lot of attention, of course, in Moore right now with what's happening there, but we're also watching you in southern Oklahoma because we have a number of storms that are developing.
All right, guys, let's go on back to Advantage Doppler HD and track this storm again. I have it right now, the tornado on the ground just north of Southeast 4th between Sunny Lane and Sooner Road. This will be approaching Lake Stanley Draper on the western side. If for some reason you know anyone who might be out on Lake Stanley Draper, let them know that this tornado is headed their way. It would be an extremely dangerous situation to be out on the water. You don't want to be anywhere near the lake at this point in time. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see the tornado live as it is moving. I have it tracking right now just north of east at approximately 20 miles an hour. The cold front may be having it pick up just a little bit of speed right now, but as Damon noted, this is getting back into technically southern Oklahoma City. This is now moving across Sooner Road between Southeast 119th and 134th, and Damon, it really looks like this will cross directly over Lake Stanley Draper.
Yeah, absolutely. This is now moving out of the city of Moore now, so now we're back into Oklahoma City limits, which is why these street numbers have changed. But this tornado right down Sooner Road, this is right down Sooner Road, crossing over here for people that are familiar with this area. If you know the restaurant Royal Bavaria, that is going to be right down here. So this is just north of the Royal Bavaria on Sooner Road. This is now moving more closer to Lake Stanley Draper. This pink that you're seeing right here, this is debris. That black right there is going to be debris. We are now in between Air Depot and South Sooner Road, in between right here, Southeast 119th and 134th Street. Again, we are getting this even closer to Lake Stanley Draper, the southwest side of Lake Stanley Draper. If you live within this area, this is a very large tornado. You need to be below ground as we continue to track this significant storm. And you can see the debris, right in between Air Depot, Sooner Road, Southeast 119th and 134th Street. This is approaching Lake Stanley Draper, moving to the east at speeds of about 25 miles per hour. We continue this tornado emergency. This is a tornado emergency still for those of us that are right west of Lake Stanley Draper. Chance Cold Iron, go.
That tornado came down just right along 4th Street, or moved just to the south of 4th Street. I lost my house, I'm pretty sure. Maybe yours is gone. It's going right over the lake right now. It's a strong stovepipe tornado. It's just not giving up. It just keeps on and keeps on. It's one of these ones that's going to keep going. Thundering down just a little bit now, but it should be right over Lake Stanley Draper right now as we speak. Moving to the east. Anybody on the east side of the lake or over that direction needs to be out of the way of this tornado in their shelters.
It's not letting anybody go through.
Okay, Chance.
Thank you.
Okay, Chance. Yeah, once again, we continue to track this very significant tornado. This is moving into now Lake Stanley Draper, very large tornado there, and we are still picking up debris with this. This is getting ready to cross right over into Lake Stanley Draper. You can see right here the population density isn't nearly as much as it was just to the west as it was moving into Moore. You can see all this. These are all trees. What this tornado is going to do, it is going to pick up these trees, so that is going to be added debris, and our reflectivity within this is going to get even larger. We're probably going to start seeing more black shading in here with this as the radar starts picking up trees within this tornado. Chris Lee, go.
Yeah, we just watched it cross 134th Street and Sooner Road. Went right across the intersection of where those two roads cross. Debris all over the place, insulation flying. It's done quite a bit of damage. You just tell from the debris that it's picked up. It went through basically the south part of Moore. It is now headed east-northeast through here, just to the north of 134th Street. As you said, not as big a population area. And you know what? I say it's kind of getting narrower. It looks like maybe we're roping out now. Yeah, and very definitely it's much skinnier and starting to get a rope appearance to it. Hopefully this one's dissipating. I hope you can see the stream.
We got it, Chris. We have your stream. We can see it clearly. We have not extended this tornado warning yet into Pottawatomie County, though. We are still watching it closely. It might be getting to try to jog a little bit closer in the southeastern parts of Oklahoma County. If you're on I-240 or I-40 and you can hear us right now, this is going to be just east of the Tinker Air Force Base area. Do not move in that direction. You need to stop. You need to get off the highway. Do not stop along the highway, but get off. We're going to watch this storm continue to move to the east-northeast, and it may be getting even closer there to I-40 there. But you can see debris. There is a rope tornado right there in between that. You can see the debris that is spinning all around this tornado right here. That is a tremendous amount of debris that is within this right there, and I'm still depicting a debris ball that is inside of this hook echo right here. Again, this is a significant tornado. While it may be roping out, that does not mean that the all clear is going to be sounded here. This may be going through a cycle stage, and this will likely be extended more so in the Pottawatomie County. Pottawatomie County, we hope that those of you, if you are listening to us on the radio right now, and you're living between Shawnee and Bethel Acres, we hope that you have at least stopped your cleanup from yesterday's tornado damage. Again, we want to make sure that everyone has stopped their cleanup from yesterday's tornado damage. Again, the storm is continuing to move to the east-northeast. Brad Souter.
Jamin, I want to let folks know in Midwest City and Spencer, not only are you seeing debris fall out of the sky with this, that can happen 40, 50 miles away in the inflow of this storm, but that does not mean the tornado is headed towards you, but you are likely dealing with baseball-sized hail in Midwest City right now. Some very, very impressive DBZ values with that. Rusty, to you.
Brad, I know we haven't shown radar lately, but so let's show it right there. I believe that this tornado is beginning to rope out at least in the short term. Okay, let me show you the loop from Advantage Doppler 3D, because that cold front is playing a big factor. Notice when I stop it and I back it up, look where Moore is. There goes the tornado across I-35. As the cold front is now impinging on the northern side of it, it's shooting it further east quicker, but it also looks like it's kind of choking the tornado, at least right now. So I believe that this tornado, while it could still be on the ground, is weaker than what it was. That is good news. That does not mean folks at Pottawatomie County should be taking this lightly. This could easily just be a cycle, Damon.
Could be.
It could be lifting as it heads towards the lake, but at least right now it does look like the cold front is going to be shoving this faster east.
And unfortunately, this tornado is roping out a little bit too late to spare large density areas and more. I have a feeling that we're going to see some significant damage through Moore. Brad.
Damon, I just got a note past me. Folks wanting to know, what does rope out mean? That means that the tornado is dramatically weakening and lifting. When you don't have as much circulation, the storm is lifting. It's becoming more tubular, more looking like a rope. So it's not nearly as significant. We had a wedge on the ground earlier, and that's what we call violent, a very wide tornado. So this is good news. We are seeing this tornado rope out and dramatically weaken here as it's leaving Moore now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and again, I wish this would have roped out a long time ago, all right, but it did not. It is now over. The circulation is now over Lake Stanley Draper, and this might just be going through a phase. We're going to have to see what happens if this tornado moves right over. Maybe this rotation moves right over TLX. We're probably going to have to switch over some radar products there, because we're going to have to still sample the data within this. So we're watching. You can see the radar. Here it is right here. You can see how close we are. I mean, we're just a couple miles right here. This is going to be Lake Stanley Draper. This is the rotation right here. This is Sooner Road. So we are south of 240 here. We are now east of Sooner Road, and you can see this is the rotation associated with this storm. This is a very large tornado that moved through Moore. All right, Moore, you can now come out of your tornado shelters. Again, you can come out of your tornado shelters. For those of us in Moore, this storm is now east. Again, this is now east. But once again, we continue to track this, let's see here, this significant rotating thunderstorm. And it looks like we can officially confirm that the tornado has roped out. That means that it's decreased significantly just west of Lake Stanley Draper. Just west of Lake Stanley Draper. Rusty.
That's what I'm seeing, Damon, on the radar. I'm still tracking that center of circulation for you into Pottawatomie County simply because you never know if this thing is going to wrap back up again. This is a large supercell. The supercells yesterday produced tornadoes for several hours. So I've got that center of circulation probably now beginning to slide north again. So we're more of kind of an east-northeast track. I've got it at Newalla at 418, McLeod at 431, and the Midway area at 436. If we can go back to Advantage Doppler HD, guys, just one more look at the storm from HD. I do have the circulation right now on the northern sides of Lake Stanley Draper between southeast 104th and southeast 119th. That means it's headed towards southeast 89th. I also believe it's headed towards the intersection of I-40 and I-240, where we have the split, getting reports of some golf ball size hail, and even larger than that at Tinker Air Force Base. So on the northern side of this supercell, north of I-240, there is going to be some very damaging hail being produced out of it, Damon.
Yeah, and I imagine that the north side has all the hail, and that is your classic supercell, north side hail, and then you get the rotation on the southwest side of the storm. That's exactly what we're seeing. Chance Cold Iron, you are very familiar with Moore. What have you seen so far?
Damon, I stayed in front of that tornado. It looked like everything from the south side of 4th Street all the way across from Santa Fe may be gone. The Warren Theater, the medical center, the school there on 4th Street, the Walmarts, my house. I think everything's gone from what the damage, the debris in the air that I've seen. I picked up a guy that was a quarter mile north of 4th Street. He was checking on his dogs at his house, and he's with me now. We think his house is spared. But it moved straight down 4th, across Bryant, Eastern, Sooner. It went over like it dissipated. We now have a same wall cloud here. It's starting to rotate pretty good again. But no tornado on the ground as of now.
It hit my house. Did it?
Okay, Chance. Okay, Chance. Well, you know what, Chance? I want you to call your family. I know you live in Moore, as do I, so this is very personal for us. Brad Souter.
Damon, I want to give heads up to crews, now emergency crews that are responding to Moore. We have a new thunderstorm developing to the south and to the east of Moore, south and west, excuse me, moving north and east. Right now, it is not severe, nor is it producing a tornado. But this is a storm, this is an environment that is extremely still favorable for thunderstorm genesis, for thunderstorm production. And we got to watch this closely because rescue crews are responding. People are out and about surveying the damage, looking at the damage. We don't want you to do that. Power lines are down. Obviously, there's going to be massive damage in the Moore area, and there are more storms developing. I know in Oklahoma City right now, sirens are going off once again. I want to let folks know there is that tornado warning is for the southeast side. It's still the Moore tornado that's lifted, that's not currently on the ground, but the siren system is all tied together, and so folks are hearing sirens. Does that mean Oklahoma City is under the gun for sirens for tornadoes? We've already seen the tornado right now. It's not currently on the ground. We currently have that warning to the south as well. That's just to the east of Bray. New storm on the south that's showing the rotation. The storm is splitting there south of Bray, Oklahoma. And that's a storm we have to watch as well because it's still in a very favorable zone. But tornadoes not being reported right now, Damon.
Okay, Chris Lee, go. Chris Lee, where are you?
We're 134th and Anderson Road, south. We are looking at this storm over Lake Draper. A large area of rotation. I do not see anything on the ground right now. Yeah, last time we talked to you, it had kind of rode out. The circulation that came to the ground got very narrow and then picked up. But there's so much rotation in so many areas that are lowered. This thing could touch down very, very rapidly. So very concerned with the whether this thing is going to produce produce another tornado, but certainly a lot of circulation, and it looks like back towards the southwest corner of the storm, it's starting to approach the ground again. So we're watching that very, very carefully. That's not the direction you're looking. Let me kind of swing the camera around out the side window, and you can see it. It's coming towards the ground, but not on the ground at this time. That would be in the neighborhood of, I'm going to guess, 104th Street and west of Anderson Road.
1 street north.
Okay, Chris. Okay, well, certainly the damage that is coming in from Moore is significant. Again, if you're living in Moore, you can come out of your safe rooms. You can come out of your shelter. And this is the latest right here. This is the storm, and it's still rotating. And we still have a tornado warning now, and this does extend more so in the southeastern parts of Oklahoma County, northeastern Cleveland County, northwestern Pottawatomie County there. Again, the rotation is still within this storm, and again, we still have a tornado warning. Again, this storm is moving to the northeast now at 30 miles per hour. It also has very large hail up to the size of tennis balls. Again, up to the size of tennis balls. So the storm continues to move up to the northeast. And again, if you're within the Tinker Air Force Base area, if you live along I-40, if you're listening to us right now on Cumulus Radio, you are in the path of the storm if you are east of Tinker Air Force Base. And again, the rotation within this storm is still significant. So this tornado warning continues. Again, Moore, I know we have just gone through one incredible situation. We will recover, okay? I know Moore, there's a lot going on right now, Moore. And, of course, we will recover. I'm very familiar with Moore. It is my home. It is what I've called home for the last 4 years, and I know we have gone through this before, and we will come back even stronger than ever before. I know I have seen images of some very scary images of the Warren Theater. All right, I've seen just around the Westmore area, and I've even seen images, especially right around Highland Junior High there, that is just right along 4th Street, okay? But this is the latest right here. This is where the large hail is right here, just north of I-240, South Anderson Road. This is going to be right along Southeast 29th Street. This is the rotation right here. This is going to be the hail right here, large hail. It's going to be likely up in the size of tennis balls to baseball-size hail. Again, this is some significant hail within this storm. We have continued to watch this storm very closely. And again, while it's not nearly as intense as it was when it was going through Moore, it is still a very intense storm. So once again, we continue to watch this. Again, some of the reports coming in from the history of this storm as it moved through Moore. Again, as I mentioned before, it's a place that I call home. This tornado passed, it looks like, just 1 street north of my house, so you can certainly imagine the emotions that I'm running through right now. But again, you can see here, large hail just right along I-240, just north of I-40, and the rotation is right there. Rusty.
All right, Damon, you take a break, buddy. I know it's emotional for you, obviously, and I know a lot of folks, we all know someone, I'm sure, who was impacted by this storm. The pictures that are going to be coming out of Moore, they're going to be very reminiscent of some of the strongest tornadoes that we've ever seen in central Oklahoma, because this, I can tell you right now from radar, this was at least an EF4. This was just in the same line as the Shawnee and the Kearney tornadoes of yesterday. Let's talk about what's happening right now, because we still do have 2 active tornado warnings. Let's go on over to Advantage Doppler 3D. We're still looking at the tornado warning. It is still in effect for the quote-unquote Moore tornado. We do not have an actual tornado on the ground at this point in time, but we are still watching this very closely. Chris Lee is still tracking that storm. Chris, you're on the phone. Let's get the latest from you on that.
Yeah, we're at 134th and North Choctaw Road, heading back to the north. Not seeing anything on the ground, so I have this large area of rotation. It's moving. It looks like it has moved past Lake Stanley Draper now. It is moving not as I thought maybe it would be crossing I-240 around Choctaw Road. Looks like it may be going south of that. Not seeing anything on the ground. It's very hilly out here, so we kind of lose it between our as we drop down and then come back up to the next hill. And I kind of pause. If you could tell to see when I get to the top of the hill what I'm going to see when I get up there. But a lot of rotation still at Cloud Base, and that's still back to the west of Choctaw Road, to the north of appears to be I believe that's 104th Street coming up.
Okay, Chris, thanks. Stay on that storm. I'm tracking it for you right now. I've got Newalla at 417, McLeod at 431, Hazeldale at 446. Again, right now there is no tornado on the ground, but the circulation continues, and these supercells in this kind of high instability environment have the possibility of regenerating a tornado. So if you live in those areas I just mentioned, you need to stay very weather aware. We'll keep a close eye on that. There is an active tornado warning further to the south. This is going to be for our southern viewing area. This includes portions of Stevens and Garvin County. This is a very dangerous situation. We've had reports of confirmed tornado. This is not nearly as strong as the one that went through Moore, but this one is still moving into some populated areas at this point in time, moving off to the east at around 25 miles an hour. I'm going to track it from the area of concern that is just to the southeast of Bray. And a lot of the reports that I've seen were out of northern Stevens County near Bray. So this is moving out of northeast Stevens into the western sides of Garvin County. I've got Foster at 425, Elmore City at 438. This circulation would be headed towards I-35, somewhere between Pauls Valley and Wynnewood. Those are two of the bigger areas in Garvin County. If you live in those areas, you got to just keep weather aware. Tornado watch is still in effect until 10. The tornado warning is still active on this storm. I'm going to query it one more time just to see if they extended it. It was until 4:15, and it is still until 4:15. So again, if this storm still shows signs of a tornado being produced, they will probably extend that, and that will get deeper into Garvin County. So those are the two active tornado warnings right now. And again, back into the metro, if you live on the northern sides of Oklahoma County, the cold front has pushed through your area. You're probably feeling north winds, and the temperature is coming down a little bit. That is a good sign for you. More than likely, that means that tornado potential is going to be very, very low. I'm talking about places like El Reno, Yukon, War Acres, The Village, Piedmont, Edmond, up to Guthrie. Most of this activity will be south and east of that area, but anywhere south and east of that, still including downtown Oklahoma City, the threat still lingers for additional tornado development. These supercells, when I zoom out, you just look at this line across the state. What we're doing is literally from eastern Kansas all the way down to North Texas, we're dotting I-44 with supercells, all of them in an environment capable to continue to produce tornadoes through the afternoon hours. But again, right now, we have one, I believe, tornado that could possibly be on the ground. The other one that is near southeast sides of Oklahoma County. That one has lifted. Chris Lee is still on that storm. Brad?
Hey, Rusty, I want to add to what you were saying right now about what's happening along I-44. What we saw earlier today was this was modeled perfectly along I-44. Computer models were suggesting this could be right along that boundary. And what it's got is it's got it taking it farther to the south and to the east really throughout the afternoon. Right. So even though this is starting to pass through the major metro areas, we're still dealing with this over the next several hours. I wanted a new report out of Bray. We just had a report of baseball-sized hail. So these storms have intense updrafts, just intense updrafts, and they continue to produce hail and likely will continue to produce violent tornadoes.
Brad, these are the bad boys of spring. This is, you know, considering the tornado that just went through Moore, it's one of the worst days that I've experienced here. But this is why we tell you about this days and days in advance. And Brad is right. Some of the models that we look at actually have the instability, if you will, even higher when you go east of I-35. Now, that's south of the metro. That would be like Garvin County and Pontotoc County down towards the Ada area. But you're right. There are going to be several more hours where tornadoes are still possible in the KOCO viewing area.
And you see these setups in the morning and you say, this could happen. You don't want to believe it. Unfortunately, it's happened once again. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane.
And I know that there are many cell towers that were impacted. I know there are a lot of people that are trying to make phone calls right now down into Moore. All right, we know that the cell service has been knocked out. However, you can still text message. All right, so if you are trying to get a hold of someone and they are not responding to your phone call, you can still text message into Moore. Anyone that was affected by this tornado as it moved right across northern Cleveland County, again, cell service, it is gone. However, you can still text message, and so again, make sure that you are text messaging people to ask them. If they do not respond to your phone call, it is not because, don't think the worst. Do not think the worst if you can't get through on a phone call, okay? Again, cell service has been knocked out, so you need to be text messaging, and you can see that tornado as it wrapped and went right through Moore there, all right? Again, Moore, we have gone through this before, okay? We've done it many times, okay? Moore is a very popular area for tornadoes. However, we have always come back stronger than ever before. So Moore, we will get through this. I know that the pictures there are significant, but you can see we still have storm covers now in southern parts of Oklahoma County, and we still have thunderstorms and a couple supercells that continue to develop here. And again, northern Oklahoma County, things are improving. But again, we have four total tornado warnings in the state right now. One that is north of Tulsa. We have another one that is now in southeastern Oklahoma County, northeastern Cleveland County. We have another tornado warning that is in northeastern Stevens County, now moving into western Garvin County. The tornado itself is still in Stevens County. And then we have another tornado warning that is getting ready to now. The tornado itself will be crossing out of Henrietta County, that is just northeast of Wichita Falls, and moving into Jefferson County. So we continue to see explosive storm development across Oklahoma, but once again, we continue to have these severe storms that are moving into the metro right now. So you can see we still have all these storms. Again, these storms are still popping up right along the cold front here. The threat for tornadoes, it is still there. We saw this tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. So we saw the tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. And that is for all of these storms that are ongoing right now. If you are trying to, or if you leave at 4 or 5 o'clock and you try to go down I-35 south into Cleveland County, don't. Okay, this is going to be an area that they are still in storm recovery mode right now, and they are looking and they're going to be assessing and trying to do search and rescue. So this is a search and rescue situation right now that is ongoing along I-35 as this tornado passed over a very dense part of Cleveland County here. And so once again, do not go south on I-35 there. You will not make it. Again, they are blocking traffic. So these are all the storms that are lining up right here from Tulsa, east of Stillwater, from the metro, down to the south in the northeastern Stevens County, and then down to Wichita Falls. Paul, Jess?
Okay, Damon, thank you very much. Getting more information about the hospital and more.
That's right, and we're learning from the Norman Regional Hospital, they're giving us this information that the Moore Medical Center was hit by that massive tornado that moved through there as our storm chasers were reporting. They're telling us that they're bringing patients to the Porter Hospital in Norman, so that's the main section of Norman Regional Hospital, the Porter campus there in Norman. They're bringing patients there from the Moore area because the medical center has been hit.
Yeah, if you've got a loved one, that's where you need to go, is Norman, again, that Porter campus. We also want to talk about Norman schools. They have continued to hold their students this afternoon, especially the ones that are riding the buses and they're going to daycare after school. So those students are still at the school safe and in class.
Yeah, all students that were supposed to ride the buses are at school right now. They were supposed to be let out about an hour ago, so they're still there on campus. If you're trying to get a hold of your children, if you haven't heard from them right now, that's what's happening, and they're going to keep them there until they're 100% absolutely sure that the storm threat is over for that area.
We can tell you about the city of Moore right now. We've got some messages from them. They are setting up a command post and a command center right there around the Warren Theater because it was certainly hit there as well.
And we are working the phones back here trying to get information. As Damon said, it is difficult with cell service right now trying to get in touch with anyone. We do have crews headed to the damage areas, and as we've heard from our storm chasers who saw all of the debris coming off that tornado, we do know that it's pretty significant. So we're working to get you some pictures because we know you want to see what's happening in that area that we're all so familiar with, such a highly populated area of Moore along I-35.
And Damon, the thing is, folks can come out of their shelter right now. You've said that, but it's clear, no problems.
Yeah, Moore, of course, you're better now than you were about 30 minutes ago. You can come out. However, I know that there is an extensive search and rescue operation going on in Moore right now. We still have tornado warnings. This is for Pauls Valley, Purdy. This is north of Katy here. This is going to be southeast of Lindsay. And it's for this storm that is moving out of Stevens County now, moving into Garvin County. You can see, starting to see probably some wrapping up right there. And that looks like that might be the appendage there with the tornado that is trying to wrap up there in northeastern parts of Stevens County. Rusty, I'm going to have to change my battery right now. You go ahead and go.
No worries, buddy. All right, let's take a look at this. What Brad and I were looking at with this southern storm in Garvin County certainly looks like you can see the hook. This is in northern Stevens County, east of Bray, along Highway 29. All right, if you know anyone who lives in northeast Stevens County or then moving into Garvin County, let them know that there is a tornado warning with this storm, and at times we've had reports of that actually being on the ground. All right, at times it's kind of pulsed up and down. This is not the classic supercell. But we know that there is a tornado warning associated with this storm. The Weather Service not playing around. They've actually extended the warning to now include I-35. So you see the new red polygon. That now includes Paoli, Pauls Valley, and Wynnewood. The storm is still a ways from you guys, but if you live in those areas, you're going to want to start thinking about getting in your safe shelter. Again, being underground is the best thing that you can do. Download the KOCO Tornado app. You can listen to our live coverage via that app on your smartphone. If you don't have an underground shelter, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. An interior closet is one of the best bets, a bathtub, something like that that protects you. But this is a massive storm that actually extends into the northern sides of McLean County. I'll put that into motion for you. So that is tracking northeast. We do have fast units on that storm. We're going to keep a real close eye on it for you there. On the northern side of the storm, again, you can see the effects of that cold front. I'll draw the cold front right here. It's pushing that supercell. It's almost kind of squashing it on the northern sides. And the area of rotation that we're still concerned about is going to be right on the extreme northeast side of Cleveland County, slipping into northern portions of Pottawatomie County. So this is going to be just to the east of Woods towards McLeod. It looks like that area has passed I-40 just to the north. So then we bring in southern Lincoln County into play along 62 east of Hera between Jacktown and Meeker. That would be where that circulation is going, but it has been probably at least 20 to maybe even 30 minutes since the last report of that tornado roping out. Brad?
Rusty, I want to remind folks that this storm, this tornado warning that we have to the south right now, it's in the same environment. The tornado warning that's for Pauls Valley, Elmore City, and Bray. Bray, you're on the western end. Bray, you're in the clear. But this tornado warning that we potentially have is in the same air mass with the same ingredients with the EF4s that we've been seeing, the last two yesterday and the possible one that we've seen and more today. It's not a confirm, we don't know, but the air mass is certainly conducive for that. Baseball-sized hail, the updraft's just intense, and the wind shear just amazing with some of these storms.
Well, absolutely, Brad. I mean, what we're telling you is that when these storms develop, they're going to go up rotating, all right? And whenever you have a mesocyclone like that in this type of instability, you're going to have the possibility for tornadoes, which is why the moderate risk was out, which is why the tornado watch was issued at least an hour before the first tornado that was on the ground. So again,
and why they have that tornado warning all the way extended to Pauls Valley. We know these are long track tornadoes. The more tornadoes on the ground for what, 45 minutes, at least, possibly an hour. That is a violent tornado, and obviously that we've got to be warned for all of these.
You know, we can't, unfortunately, Damon. You know, we can't, you know, point these tornadoes where we want them to. The best thing that we can do is give you as much lead time, you know, as possible. And I think the Weather Service did a fantastic job of that with this storm that developed in Newcastle.
And I'm hoping that a lot of people were still at work at 3 o'clock and they were not at home, and that hopefully your work was not in the cone of that tornado that went through South Oklahoma City, and hopefully a lot of these homes were vacant as this tornado moved through. And this is still our tornado warning that we have now just southwest of McLeod. All right, this is going to be our just north of I-40 here. I guess it puts in McLeod at 411 there. There's going to be a Jacktown at 429. Of course, I know, again, we want to make sure that everyone knows that their cell service has been disrupted and more. You can still text, you can still tweet, you just cannot call. So if you are watching us right now, you're listening to us, and you're trying to call someone that lives in Moore, just know that, again, cell service has been disrupted, all right? So but you can still text and tweet there. So Jacktown, 429, Meeker, 451, Payson at 451. Yesterday, the tornadoes were right here, all right? So this was a damage area, basically right in this vicinity right here. Looks like this tornado warning is going to take it just north of the areas that were impacted by tornadoes yesterday. And, of course, significant damage that was just around Shawnee and just south of I-40. So this storm is going to slide just north of the areas that were impacted by yesterday's storms. And we hope that if you know anyone that is living in this area and perhaps their power was cut off because of the storms that went through yesterday, that you are going to text them and let them know of these storms that are moving on through. So McLeod, Jacktown, Hazeldale, Meeker, Payson, and this can make its way up to Sparks there. So again, this is the same storm that did move through Moore. And again, we continue to track this significant storm. Again, this was a large storm, and as Rusty mentioned, we would love it if we did not have to ever have to go through things like this. This is horrible, and I tell you what, even as a meteorologist, you know, I wish that even we could control the weather. And again, just for anyone that is curious, I mean, I live right here. All right, so you can kind of see where that tornado went. From what I'm getting reports of, you know, this tornado moved one street north of my house. I just got a text from my wife, and she said that the neighborhood, Creeks at Wimberley, Rock Creek, it looks like a war zone. It looks like an absolute war zone, and that would be right through here. So, again, you know, we hope that we gave you enough warning. And, again, of course, we were talking about the situation here today, but you can see that right there is debris, and then it moved right over the Warren Theater, and then it moved right down 4th Street, right through, right past the junior high right there. And, again, it looks like significant damage has occurred to the junior high there. So right in between Moore High School, and again right there, Highland Junior High. And now you can see the storm situation that we have here. We still have quite a bit of hail coming in here. And once again, you know, this is still a very significant storm. We continue to detect large hail, and it looks like there's another storm that is now going up just southwest of Oklahoma City here. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for downtown Oklahoma City. This is going to be until 4:45, half-dollar size hail, and winds up to 60 miles per hour. Those that are included in this location with this new severe thunderstorm warning will be Oklahoma City, Midwest City, this is going to be Dell City, Choctaw, Spencer, Jones, Nakoma Park, Wellston, Luther, Warwick, Tinker Air Force Base, Forest Park, Valley Brook. Billy Dry, we have you on the phone right now. Where are you and what are you seeing?
Damon, right now we're on the west side of Dale, looking at a storm with heavy rotation. It's starting to really spin up. It's not dropping anything just right yet, but it is on a path towards McLeod. There's a large lowering just to the north of me, and I can see a very clear area where it is rotating pretty good. You know, normally you can see it pretty slow, but this is actually a pretty good little rotation area. So we're just kind of watching this, making sure nothing comes down. We're keeping people ahead of this thing.
Billy, and certainly we can hear the wind coming in from your shot there. But, yeah, it looks like that might be starting to push out some outflow winds within that. That's still going to produce some very strong winds. Winds are going to be in the range of 45 to 60 miles per hour. So that is going to be the storm that is moving now. That's the same storm that moved through Moore. And it looks like, let's see here, the tornado warning for northeastern Cleveland County has been canceled. This is now in eastern parts of Oklahoma County. And again, this is now moving into southwestern Lincoln County and northwestern Pottawatomie County. We do have a severe thunderstorm, and this is going to be for the storms that are now developing right along this cold front. And again, the severe thunderstorm is going to be for Oklahoma City, where we are likely going to see some very large hail. I'm getting a report now coming in from the emergency manager of Oklahoma County. He is at Northeast 23rd and Luther. That's in Hara. He is reporting baseball-size hail. He is reporting baseball-size hail that is currently moving, that is currently developing off of these storms that are moving through Oklahoma County right now. Northeast 23rd and Luther, baseball-size hail. And then we continue to have these tornado warnings that are down in southern parts of the state here. Garvin County, storm that is now moving into western Garvin County, moving out of Stevens County. This is a new tornado warning. This is going to be for the, again, for the storm that is moving from extreme northeastern Stevens County, and this is going to move into central Garvin County. This is in effect until 5 o'clock. This is a tornado warning. Let's see here, Doppler radar indicated tornado. Those in the paths of the storm will be Elmore City, Foster, White Bead. Elmore City, Foster, and White Bead. Mark, we have you on the phone right now. What are you seeing?
Okay, we are going north on 74. We're trying to stay ahead of this wall cloud, but it's rotating. There's nothing on the ground at this point in time that we can see, but it's traveling north, a little bit northeast of our location. We're just south of Maysville, and all of the movement is to the north and northeast mostly. So anything near Maysville, southeast of Maysville area, you should be in your shelters right now.
Okay, and Mark, you're on that storm, and of course, the path on this storm will put it into White Bead at 457, Pauls Valley at 505. This is going to be the developing tornado right here. This is going to be just along, looks like State Highway 76 there. And again, the environment that we have in southern Oklahoma is still very much able to support large tornadoes, just like what we saw here in central Oklahoma. So southern Oklahoma, our tornado risk is going to continue for quite some time here. Again, this cold front has not pushed on through, so as long as we are in this warm, juicy environment, the tornado risk is going to be, it's going to continue to stay high with any storm that happens to move in. So again, we are detecting some large hail, and it looks like right now the circulation on this storm would put it northeast of Bray. Again, as it's now crossing, it's going to stay south of Aaron Springs. This is now moving into Garvin County. So we continue to monitor that tornado warning very closely. That will be crossing over I-35. And then we continue to watch the severe storms that are now developing across Oklahoma City. These storms will push over areas that have been impacted. Eventually, we will see storms move over the areas that were impacted in Cleveland County there. So we want to make sure that we continue to reiterate we are still tracking a severe storm moving through Oklahoma City here. Large hail. Right now, some of the largest hail looks like it is going to be just barely south of Will Rogers World Airport. I'm detecting hail sizes that are up to the size of golf balls. That is going to move up to the northeast, right over I-240, right near OCCC. That's going to be moving right over OCCC. This is I-240, OCCC, Will Rogers World Airport. This is going to be golf ball size hail that is embedded within this storm here, and these storms are moving up to the northeast. It looks like Chris Lee, you're live on the phone right now. Where are you? Chris Lee, go. All right, we'll get Chris. Okay, we'll get Chris back up on the phone right now. We are going to continue this tornado warning for Lincoln County. This is the same storm that moved on through Moore, so we continue the tornado warning for Lincoln County until 4:45. This is the same storm that moved through Moore. All right, the tornado may redevelop. Right now, it has not developed, but it's in the circulation stages. So once again, tornado warning for now Lincoln County, and it looks like the storm is now moving out of Oklahoma County here. So the tornadic storm is now moving up into Lincoln County, same county that was impacted yesterday by the tornadoes. And it looks like this storm very well may spin up again, and very well could reproduce. So we continue to watch this very closely. Midway, Harrah, McLeod, Jacktown, Rossville. This is going to be Lincoln County right here. The storm moving up to the northeast, and same areas that were impacted by the tornadoes yesterday. Mark, you're on the phone right now.
Yes, go ahead. We're still tracking this wall cloud south of southeast of Maysville, and it's getting pretty close to the ground. There's a good lightning strike right there. I don't see a tremendous amount of rotation on it, although it is dropping as I speak closer to the ground. So I would be pretty good chance that we're going to see something here shortly, Steve.
Yeah, you're still in an area that is still very favorable for tornado environment. Again, we're still in this warm, very unstable atmosphere. We're looking at your live stream on the right-hand side. We see that lowering right there. And again, Mark is going to be on this storm that is right here. This is in Garvin County. He's staring right at this area. This is the circulation right there, just west of Elmore City. Again, this is Garvin County. Here's I-35. Large hail falling right over Maysville, Wallville, Purdy. This storm moving up to the northeast. You can see the hail there. We are detecting it right there. This is going to be quarter-size hail. And again, we are going to continue to see the hail right here. It's going to be spotty here, but we continue to see hail falling just northeast of Pauls Valley. But this right here is going to be the tornadic part of the storm there, and that is what Mark is looking at right now on the right-hand side of your television screen there. You can see that lowering, all right? So here we are on Highway 29, Highway 76, and he is staring right here. This is going to be the inflow with that storm. We got to watch that pretty closely. That's looking even more impressive right now on radar. Rusty, what are you seeing right now with velocity on that?
Well, Damon, I mean, the velocity is not tight. Obviously, as we can see from Mark's stream, there's a good lowering there. The other thing is that the radar is also cutting through a very high area of precipitation, so you're not going to see this clearly. You would not see this tornado being produced unless you're on the south side. Just look at the massive amount of reflectivity to the north and to the east. So it's a very soupy environment that Mark is shooting through right now, but this is a very dangerous situation. This is why there's an active tornado warning on this storm. It is moving out of Stevens County. It is passing into Garvin County, and I-35 and Highway 77 are included in this warning. If you know this area of Garvin County, that does include Paoli, Pauls Valley, Wynnewood, some of the more populated areas, but even places like Purdy, Antioch, and Elmore City are all in the path of this tornado. If I just listed any of those areas, you're going to start thinking about your tornado precautions, and if you live west of I-35, I wouldn't even play with it. I'd go ahead and get in your shelter if you have one, or put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Very dangerous situation. Looking at the reflectivity, or the velocity dam in a couple of different areas here, that's FDR, that's TLX. We're picking up a little bit more off of TLX. Looks like it's just north of 29, but it's still very broad, Damon. So we'll keep an eye on that. I believe Paul has an update from the news desk. Paul?
That is right, Rusty. I want to tell you a little bit about I-35 right now. I-35 is closed in both directions, and I've got to switch out a battery here. Paul, I'm going to send it back to you for just a second.
Okay, let's continue this storm. This is a storm that Mark Fricklin is on right there. He is in position. This is an atmosphere that's still very unstable, so we're still watching this very closely. Inflow notch right here. This is going to be extreme northeastern Stevens County, and this is going to be making its way into Garvin County, Highway 76, Highway 29 right here. This is where we continue to watch very closely at the amount of rotation coming in with this storm to see if this is going to indeed strengthen. More than likely it will, as this atmosphere is still very unstable right here. But Elmore City, right down Highway 74 here, west of I-35. Again, we're talking about southern Oklahoma. We continue to see the rotation that's embedded within the storm right now. Again, this is a very, very significant storm, and we're going to watch it very closely. Mark Fricklin is in the perfect location, and he will give us the pictures that we need to see. Paul.
Okay, Damon, thank you very much. I do want to tell you a little bit about I-35. Both directions, north and south in the city of Moore, that is completely shut down. You're not going to be able to get down into that area. Once again, we've talked a little bit about the staging area that is set up down there in front of the Warren Theater. I want to tell you that you don't want to try to get on the highway. You also don't want to try to get over to the Warren Theater. Right now, it is an emergency situation. They're trying to get people help in that area, so they don't need anybody down there just looking around. I want to tell you about the assistance is beginning to pour out right now. Midwest City is on their way to help out. They've got fire crews headed to those scenes as well. They've got police officers headed over to that area as well. So our crews are hitting the scene right there, and we're going to continue to track all of this and the path of the damage and everything that we are seeing, guys. So, you know, there's still more to come on all of this.
Yeah, we're still well into this. We are still well into this afternoon. Again, this tornado watch is in effect until 10 o'clock. Chris Lee, you're live on the phone right now. Where are you?
We are near Dale, just to the west of the town of Dale, which is just north of I-35. We're a little bit northwest of Shawnee. Watching this area of rotation you've been talking about on this storm that has gone through Moore and through the eastern parts of Oklahoma City. Now in Pottawatomie County, we're watching a lot of rotation, and it is right there.
Was there chopping?
It's a lot of rotation. Nothing on the ground right now, but it is certainly an area that we're watching very carefully and trying to follow as it goes off to the east, a little bit north of Dewey's.
Okay. All right, Chris. Well, we'll continue to watch it pretty closely. Paul, what do you have?
I want to bring in on the conversation Albert Ashwood. He is the Director of Emergency Management. And Albert, thanks for taking the time. What can you tell us right now about your assessments?
Well, of course, we're looking at the same things that you are with your cameras and what you're doing such a wonderful job providing. It's devastating. The Moore area, of course, has been hit extremely hard. We're in contact with the city of Moore, providing all and any state resources we can, whether it be the Highway Patrol or the National Guard, and we'll be doing that throughout the night. We'll also be working with other places that have been hit or could be hit. It's still a very active day, of course, and we're very concerned about the potential severe weather for the rest of the day.
Albert, we are getting information about schools that have been impacted. Do you have any information on that right now?
No more than you do right now, and I'd hate to assume anything beyond that.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and wait till we have confirmation on anything before we publicize that.
And right now, what are some of the landmarks that you can tell me about that you have heard about hit in this area?
Again, if you were, and I know many people have already said this, going back to the 99 storm or even the 2003 storm, it seems to be a very similar path and similar destruction. We're very concerned, of course, with the schools, as you've already pointed out, but the residential areas as well. Hopefully there are a good number of people that have taken shelter, and there are fewer injuries than we had back then, but we're going to have to wait and see.
And Jessica Shambach here now joining in on the conversation. If you could tell us, what are you hearing about the injuries and any reports of any fatalities? We know that this tore through a very highly populated area of Moore.
And it's way too early to come up with anything like that because we're hearing the same rumors that you are probably, but until there's any confirmation, we'd hate to get it out there.
Albert, what areas are beginning to pour in their assistance to the city of Moore?
Well, of course, anytime you have a disaster, you have mutual aid from your neighbors, whether it be Midwest City, Del City, of course, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County. I'm sure that Norman's helping out as well, but there's always a great Oklahoma spirit to help out each other during times of disaster.
And any lessons that you think were in place through this storm that folks from the 99 storm that survived that, because it did make such a path through the city of Moore back then?
Right, and if you remember back in 99, that was the start of the safe room program basically in the United States to try to get some incentive money out there for folks to put in safe rooms, and happy to say that we've done over 10,000 of those in the state of Oklahoma, so hopefully that has mitigated some of the injuries quite a bit.
And Director, in so many instances like this, people always want to go out to see the damage for themselves or perhaps even check on a loved one, to drive into the hard-hit areas. What can you say to those people right now, especially we're in the thick of things with emergency crews that are trying to get in there and rescues are underway? What do you want to say to the people of Oklahoma who may have that curiosity to go check out these areas?
Well, I'd like to tell them to please stay home. We're still in the response phase here. We've got many hazards that are in the area just from the debris and the damage, and let first responders do their job. They do an outstanding job, whether it be fire, law enforcement, emergency medical. Let them do what they're trained to do and give them as much room to do it as possible.
And when you have a tornado emergency like this, is this considered an all-hands-on-deck emergency in the aftermath of this?
Absolutely. Our operations center is activated. I've been in touch with the governor, of course, as well as the adjutant general, and we're all on the same page, and we're going to expedite any kind of assistance we can provide, whether it be through resources or whether it be through recovery in the long term for all these people as we can.
And Albert, now we've got day number 2. We've got major damage in 2 parts of Oklahoma. As you guys move forward, how do you put this in the order of taking care of all of this?
Well, this is all one storm system, starting on Saturday and working through Tuesday. And the federal government, we've already talked to them, and they agree with us on that. So I don't think there's going to be any problem as far as whose damages are worse or whose came first. We want to make sure that all these folks are getting taken care of, and right now we just want to make sure that they're safe. So that's primary right now.
And we know yesterday the governor issued that state of emergency for 16 counties. Let me ask you this about the command center that's been set up, the staging area there at the Warren Theater in Moore. Do you have mobile command centers that come in? I know there's some big rigs that are equipped with all of the needs that you guys, all the equipment that you guys need out in the field as well. What kind of mobile command centers do you have that will be moving into the Warren Theater, and who takes the role of the lead there?
Well, we have those, and we can dispatch them from here. But keep in mind, we always work for the local government, so we are in support of the city of Moore, in support of Oklahoma City in this kind of an event. So we want to make sure that we don't get in and step all over them while they're trying to do their job. So we're going to be there hand in hand, but we're going to provide them exactly what they need.
And let me just ask you this to clarify. Do you say that you would be having the National Guard called up to help out in the rescue efforts?
we know that that's probably going to be a resource that's necessary. It hasn't been requested right now, but we know just from the previous history that there's going to be some need for roadblocks and people to monitor areas of damage, and we're going to make sure that we have state personnel ready to do that.
Albert, we've got 5 hours or so left of daylight. What does that mean for you guys? How will you respond through these hours?
Well, again, we're here in the ops center just north of the Capitol, and we're going to make